Okay, so we are in the phylum Cnidaria. This is the first phylum where we see tissues, and so this is the first group that is an example of a eumetazoan. So the Cnidarians include things like jellyfish. They include aquatic organisms. They are aquatic organisms, but they include freshwater organisms like hydra, which you might see or use in a lab experience. They also include sea anemones. They include coral, and they include a very weird creature called the Portuguese man-o-war. Okay, so when we look at the Cnidarians, one of the shared characteristics that they all have is that they have two tissue layers, so they are said to be diploblastic. They have an ectoderm and they have an endoderm. They have no mesoderm. They are diploblastic. They have mesoglia, which is like jelly-like substances, and I'll show you a picture of that in a second. So they do have a middle layer, which is the jelly of the organism. They also have radial symmetry. And because of the radial symmetry, they have no cephalization, meaning they have no brain. So they have what we call a nerve net. So what that means is that they don't have an aggregation of nervous tissue in one part of their body, which means that they can move through their environment in all directions, like a jellyfish, or even sea anemones actually can move quite a bit, you know, like across rocks, for example, or in an aquarium, across the aquarium. Okay, so these are some characteristics. They also have an incomplete digestive tract. So this means that they only have digestive tract. They only have one opening. So they have a mouth/anus. Serves the same purpose. So food comes out and digestive waste exits the same opening. Okay, incomplete digestive tract. These organisms have two different types of body forms. They have what is referred to as the polyp. The polyp tends to be sessile. They have a mobile medusa. So the medusa tends to be mobile. You'll notice here that they have drawn the ectoderm, which is now the specialized epidermis, as blue, and the endoderm, which is now the gastrodermis, as yellow. So they have two tissue layers. They have one mouth anus in both of these. They differ in their orientation of their mouth and anus, whether or not it's down, like in the medusa, or whether it's pointing up, as in the polyps. So a good example of this would be like the sea anemones, right? And the jellyfish. When we look at the Cnidarians, the reason why they are called Cnidarians is they have specialized cells called cnidocytes. Cnidocytes. These are stinging cells. These are really cool because they're individual cells that have a mechanism, a trigger, and a kind of like a harpoon, a hollow barb structure that comes shooting out of the cell, the individual cell, and it then penetrates the prey, and it can actually immobilize the prey. So you probably have heard of jellyfish being able to sting, but if you've ever gone to an aquarium and rubbed your finger over a sea anemone, their tentacles feel sticky. And the reason why is that as you rub your finger over the tentacles, you are actually causing the barb to come out of the cnidocyte. The barb is actually called a nematocyst. A nematocyst. So this is the inner coiled structure that is hollow and contains the poison, right? These cnidocytes are carnivorous, right? So they are actually eating other animals, right? They're not filter feeders like sponges. They're actually like sea anemones actually grab hold of stuff and can draw it in. Obviously, jellyfish and Portuguese man of war can also even capture bony fish, which have scales, using these cnidocytes. It's a crazy thing, okay? So this shows that nematocyst within the cnidocyte. This is the nucleus of the cnidocyte. This is the trigger, and it causes this super, super fast, like millisecond response, where this comes shooting out and penetrates the surface of the skin.